Look where the sun is rising and not where it is setting. That's talking about opportunities. And this is me welcoming you to the Niger Show right here on CJTR 91.3 FM Access Now Community Radio. Good morning. It's so wonderful this morning. I am so happy that at least there's no snow. During the week we had some snow, but today it's more like spring has sprung officially. I guess. Officially it was March 20th, but we still had some snow during the week, and I was like, what exactly is happening? This is not supposed to be spring, but they say this is how it goes. This is what happens in Regina, Saskatchewan. Will I help your week was a wonderful one. Mine was a bit sickly, but I am gradually recovering because, yeah, I have to be here on Saturdays, every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. to make sure you get all the Nigerian African feels right here on CJTR 91.3 FM. And thank you so much, Kent. Kent on the road played When Rita Leaves. Rita is not leaving. Well, probably Rita in the song left, but I'm definitely here. And I'm going to be with you for the next 1 hour, giving you all the Nigerian African feels here. And of course, yesterday was World Theatre Day, so we'll be talking a bit about theatre right here in Regina. And the guests I have with me are going to talk more about something special coming up from April 1st to 5th. Meanwhile, on the news, it's a nice thing to know that the minimum wage will be gradually increasing as from April. We'll have more of that discussions during our community discuss. But for now, enjoy this one. This one is from Second Voice. It says, "Let Me Be." Of course, that's a lovely one from Chella selling Loyal. Yeah, he's saying he's all loyal. And of course, we're definitely loyal to CJTR 91.3 FM. And in case you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure on Saturdays from 10 to 11 a.m. you always make it a dial to CJTR 91.3 FM, and you get to feel all this Afrobeat and Nigerian and African music right here in Regina. Now, in case you missed my intro, I said that yesterday was World Theatre Day, and of course on this program we get to put a spotlight on different things going on in the community. And today I have with me thespians in the house. Yeah, I have Vuyo and I have Tionna Ackerman. Nice to have you on the show with me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Vuyo has a very lovely pink, which I feel should be on me because I love pink.
Funny enough, I got this from the women's section at Places Closet. Men's fashion is absolute garbage. They only give us brown, blue, black, and white.
I know, right? Very annoying. I have a baby boy and I wore pink and I'm like, yeah, boys wear pink too. I'm gonna wear pink.
Period.
Yes.
Period.
I do not care. I want the lovely colors and I'm gonna have that whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
So I like this on you. And of course, Ackerman is looking really pretty also.
Thank you very much.
They are both thespians and they're theater artists. And guess what? They are gonna be performing in the Les Misérables Regina Little Theatre from April 1st to 5th. But first, let's get to know more about them. I'm going to start with Tionna because Vuyo is a regular. Of course, you know him on CJTR. He has this program every Thursdays, I believe.
Rhythm and vibes.
Okay, all right, that's Vuyo. So let's get to know a first time here. That's Tionna Ackerman. So Tionna, we're talking about how long you've been in the theatre industry, and you said about 2.5 years. But before that, what were you doing?
Yeah, I was working in the veterinary field before that, so helping all of your fur babies with all of their needs.
Oh.
I worked at the mobility center for quite some time, so animals came in, you know, they needed some physiotherapy or some laser therapy or acupuncture or any of those, and they left feeling way better than when they came in.
I love that because we want our furry animals to look really pretty. So
yes.
That is really nice. And then gradually you moved into theater, right?
Yeah.
What moved you to that?
I've always loved theater. I used to do theater in high school, and then, you know, once you got into university, there was no time for that. So I found Regina Little Theater about 2 years ago, and I've been with them since. They're just an amazing community. Yeah.
Okay, so now we have Les Misérables from April 1st to 5th, and you are playing Fontaine. For those who do not know about that, I think it's not a first time. I think lots of people have stated, but most times it's musical. But this time around, it's non-musical for you. Yeah. How's the experience? Because you have done lots of things here in Regina and in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. It has been, an experience of a lifetime. I auditioned. I think I was at a play reading circle, and I overheard a few of my friends talking about an audition for Les Misérables, which was happening on Tuesday, and this was on a Monday, and I said, let me acquaint myself with rejection, because I'm like, there is lots of rejection in industry that we're in as actors. So I said, okay, let me go audition. They'll say no, I'll move on with my life. So I have, and thankfully this was a cold read audition, so they just give you a thing that you see for the first time and then you read, and then that's it. Because I wouldn't have time to have memorized anything. I walk in, I audition. I know diddly do up at Les Misérables. I know it's a thing in pop culture and the theater world, but I don't know squat about it. So when I think they had like a list of different monologues for people to read. I've forgotten. But I just randomly selected Javert, not knowing who or what his story is. Oh. So I just selected, okay, Javert, that looks interesting. I read it, I did my thing, and then I peace out. And I go on with my life. And then a day later or two, I get an email from Shell and Bob saying, hey, we want you for Javert. And I said, huh? You were supposed to say no. What do you mean? What do you mean you want me? This was not my plan. So, yeah, then first rehearsal starts, and I'm now reading the play and the story for the first time. I'm like, wow, okay, so this is what Les Misérables is, and this is who Javert is. I'm not playing a very nice person.
I was about to ask you if you were going to be a good or a bad person. So you're the villain in the play.
No, I am. Well, I see him as the antagonist. Villain is a bit of a strong word.
Okay, all right.
I'm biased because I'm telling you, I have to defend him because everyone else doesn't like him. But yeah, this is the first antagonist I've ever played. Yeah. And I'm loving it. It's kind of divine timing because prior to this I had done a workshop through Commonweal. Shout out to Ibukun and Savannah. Through Commonweal, and one of the workshops we were doing was, I forgot what this type of theater was called, but it's this kind of theater where like you have 2 or 3 days to devise an entire play. But it's the kind of theater where audiences can intervene in the play and say stop, and they can replace a character. But this type of theater is a kind that discusses this is a kind of theater that deals with or discusses social issues, usually racial issues. And so in this workshop we were kind of dealing with the quiet tension between Black and Indigenous people in Saskatchewan. And in one of the exercises, I had to play a Black security guard who is monitoring an Indigenous person, assuming that he's going to shoplift. And that was a very uncomfortable thing for me to do because I had to harbor a lot of thoughts that I don't usually harbor, and stuff like that. But then I learned, shout out to David Diamond because he was the leader of the workshop. I learned to have empathy and to humanize people who that everyone else might not like. So having left that workshop and then coming into this where I'm playing someone that people are going to have very strong opinions about, I have the capacity to just, I'm not playing him as being evil. Like, I'm not doing the whole I'm not playing him as being evil. There is a reason behind why he's doing what he's doing. And a lot of those reasonings, it's stuff I'm doing with like my character work and figuring out what his childhood was like and what his teenagers were like and blah 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 blah, and who Javert was before we see him in the play. That's what I'm working on and enjoying. But yeah, the experience of a lifetime. The cast is amazing. Our directors, our producers, Bob, Cheryl, Susan, who else am I forgetting?
Everyone, Michelle,
Jean, the costume designers, everyone is putting like 100% into this thing. So
I like the fact that you're going deeper. We're kind of like entering into an era where people actually love the villains in the story. It's more like the bad guys are the most loved people in the story. So let's go deeper into Les Misérables. I was trying to look into it, and I think he killed himself at the end, Inspector Javert.
He does.
So he was actually still a bit nice. I mean, he didn't arrest, what's his name? That's
Jean Valjean.
Yeah, he didn't arrest him. So let's go deeper into Les Misérables so that I don't get to confuse people. So what's like the story like? What's like the plot of Les Misérables? Tionna.
I would say that the plot is, the whole focus around it is for freedom. So it's not your regular rebellion type. It's a revolution where all of the students at the time were fed up, in a sense, with how things were being ran. And they said enough is enough, and they started their own revolution, in a sense. And throughout that, you get to meet a lot of characters, and my character in particular goes through the works. She has all of the things that could possibly occur throughout this play to her or against her, and that's like a lot of the characters in the play. They all have their own backstory and history that they're bringing into it. That's kind of guiding this revolution.
So a kind of revolutionary play. Now, when I look at Inspector Javert, and then for you, Fontaine had to cut her hair. She was trying to give something nice for her daughter, right?
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot of things that you had to undergo. And I know that for each actor, I like the fact that Vuyo said you had to go deeper into what exactly this character was before your childhood and all of that. For Fontaine, what would you say you had to go deeper into researching?
Honestly, the emotions that she's going through.
Yeah.
She's, not to give a lot away, but she's going through a very physically tough time. And so to portray a woman who is so strong, but so vulnerable is a lot. To have that sort of, you would do anything for your child is so much deeper than I could imagine, because I don't have children. I have fur babies, so I would do anything for them. So just thinking of everything she gives up parts of herself physically to be able to provide for her child, and it's just a touching character.
Is it hard for you playing that role?
It is a little tough, yeah. The emotions are tough. There's a couple times where I've almost cried on stage, real life, and it's added to the character, but you don't necessarily want to be doing that if it's not called for. So
yeah.
She's a strong character. I've gained a lot of admiration for women back in that time period.
Now, talking about theatre, Vuyo, you've done a little pieces there for acting. You talked about your acting journey in Regina and in Saskatchewan. We had you on earlier on. You've been in the Regina Little Theatre. What's like the atmosphere? Are you the only black person in that?
I happen to be.
Okay, all right. And then you just finished a workshop talking about black and indigenous people. So what has that experience been like for you here?
You know what, it's not to be exclusive to RLT, but in most productions of theatre, I'm usually the only black person or the only person of color. I don't know if it has anything to do necessarily with the theatre companies as much as it has to do with the exposure or the opportunities that black people have to be in the arts. Most of us, I'll speak for immigrants, if anything. Most of us black immigrants, we come from nations where the arts are not a thing, or maybe the industry is still crawling or coming to its feet. So most of us, myself included, I wasn't doing theatre in primary school. I wasn't doing theatre in high school. I did maybe one play, but
who does theatre? Going to science, don't do theatre.
Exactly. You hear that from all your parents. So I find that here in Saskatchewan, Regina specifically, I am I know two other black artists who actually went to university to study the arts. Every other black artist I know is studying engineering, medicine, whatever the case is, and then they make the time to do the arts. And obviously, if you're doing something like engineering or medicine, that's super demanding on your time. So they might not have as much time to invest into the arts as I do. I will say this as, and again, it's not necessarily about being the only black person in the space. It's just how many productions or how many characters exist that are already black for black actors to play. Because another thing is, most of the characters I've played are white, fictionally. So I don't want to call it a conundrum, but the thing that I and other black actors have to navigate is when you are a black actor playing a white character, there are differences in experience. So as it pertains to Javert, and in doing my research, at the time in which Les Misérables takes place, this is 19th century France, the 1800s. During this time, slavery has been abolished, but it is still being practiced illegally. So, and there isn't too much information on Javert. I used Yahoo, Firefox, I Googled. There's information on Les Mis, but not on Javert. The only thing I could find on Javert was the fact that he was born in a prison, His dad was a criminal. His mom was a fortune teller, and he loves the law. That's all the information I could find about him.
Okay, that's little.
Yeah, so everything else is I'm having to create. So it's in thinking, okay, a lot of it is just my imagination, but also rooting it in what would his experience be since Javert is black. So then, as it pertains to his motivation, for instance, why Javert is so obsessed with the law and order. Well, I figured, okay, this was a guy who was born in prison. Babies who are born in prison, according to my research, the mother has 24 hours to breed the child. After that, the child is sent to an orphanage. Now, which orphanage would want a black baby? Unlikely. So, in my backstory about Javert, he went to an orphanage. It's possible that he might have been abused. Physically, emotionally, sexually, who knows?
Even if he wasn't abused, there's like little love shared with a mother who was in prison.
Yeah. So then that's what I'm dealing with. And then okay, so he most likely would have tried to escape, which meant that he would have lived on the streets. Somewhere along the lines, he might have thought, okay, with all the shame and embarrassment and just the lack of security and agency I have over my own life, what is a position I could occupy that would force people to respect me, to look at me and not look down upon me? And so I figured, okay, he might have been interested in being a policeman for that reason. So then how does he end up as a policeman? So maybe he stood outside the police station and would just hold the door open for people. And then, sure, they probably ignored him, but at some point they paid attention to me. And then maybe he started shining their shoes, and then maybe they said, okay, you come inside here, you take out the trash, and maybe that became his responsibility. And then with time, his responsibilities grew, and then he becomes Inspector Javert. And then his whole, at least according to what I'm preparing, his whole arc is, and the reason he has an attitude towards people is, with all the things that I've been through, I've been able to pull myself out of the gutter. And that is literally a line from the play. I was born in a prison. I have washed away that stink. The rest of you, what's your excuse? What excuse do you have to be committing crime and doing all this nonsense when I got my stuff together? What's your excuse? You check. So it's things like that make being, it's stuff like that you have to navigate as a black actor when most of the time you will be playing characters who are white. How to bring your humanity into it. And the other interesting thing I'll say is most of the audiences I've performed for are white.
Oh, okay.
And again, maybe there's something to be said about how shows are marketed to different demographics and whatnot, but most of the audiences I've performed for are white. The interesting thing is whether or not an audience of people, whether or not an audience of white people in their 60s, will they recognize the work, how differently I had to work for this character? Like, will they be conscious of it? The fact that this character might have had to endure different things. Will they be conscious of all the work I've put into it? It might go over people's heads. Some people might see it, some people might not consider it. It's just that type of thing where, like, if you've never had to experience racism, it never occurs to you that, oh, other people might be having different experiences. Other characters might have different experiences. So I think that's the best way I could answer that question.
It's a whole lot playing different characters, and I like the fact that you mentioned lines, talking about, because I think another thing about acting, apart from the psychological aspect, digging deeper into your character, and for you playing a white inspector but being black, embodying that character is harder for you. There's a whole lot of research with little information, I dare must say. But Daryl, looking at the lines are very kind of like, it's a difficult, a tricky thing for you. So I'm gonna say something really funny now. Is it a hard thing for you to kind of like memorize the lines in your play, Tionna?
Honestly, no. Like, I'm pretty good with my line memorization once we get up and moving around. It's the more remembering, okay, I need to be heartfelt emotion in that type of sense, and connecting the two. The lines are just words until you can get there with your character and can get there with the actual plot and the emotion and the raw that you're wanting to show on stage. So That's my experience. Sometimes they can be more challenging if they're like the huge monologues.
Monologues, yeah.
My character doesn't have very many of those. My character's mostly just, oh, I'm here, okay, I'm not here. Oh, I'm here, okay, I'm not here.
Does Inspector Javert have long lines?
Yep.
Monologues. He does have long lines.
I have a few.
Okay.
I have a few.
Walk in the park lines.
No. Yeah, memorizing lines is my least favorite thing to do. It's boring.
That's because it's also a hard thing for me. So when she said it, I was like, oh, this is nice.
No, some people have it easy. I do not. I mean, I've become better at it because, I've learned from other people. Because before I used to rewrite all of my lines and then memorize them, but that takes a lot of time. Now, if you've got monologues about that just takes too much time. What a friend of mine, shout out to Tyler, he's an actor friend of mine. He showed me a method whereby you write the first letter of each word, including punctuation and then including stage directions. But you write the first letter of each word, and that kind of forces you to know your lines word for word. So that's what I do now. Super, super helpful. So I'm a bit better at it, but I'll be honest, I don't like memorizing lines. It's boring. It's boring.
It's a hard thing, but we're gonna see you two April 1st to 4th or 5th. Let me know.
To the 6th, actually, because we are going to festival immediately afterwards.
Oh, okay. So that's part of Regina Little Theatre, or is that all together, like the festival? Kind of.
Regina Little Theatre's hosting it.
Okay.
It's a thing that's actually done by Theatre Saskatchewan. Okay. So it's called Theatre Fest. So there will be a bunch of different theaters from like small towns around Saskatchewan that will be coming, and we'll all be performing for one another and for the public. If you want to come and see that, you can come and see any of those shows too. And
what time are the shows?
Same time as the other ones. They're at 7 p.m. start time, and then on a Saturday we have two shows. We have a matinee in the afternoon and then an evening show as well. So I think it's at noon.
Yeah. I think one thing. Hey, we don't have
like
take the time.
When you said I think, I'm like, okay.
We know that Saturday there's a matinee in the afternoon, 1 or 1:30 p.m. Please check the website.
Okay, all right, we'll check that. No, I would help you check it. So they are so busy with their lines that they don't have the date.
That's the excuse for using it.
I'm gonna check again for the time of it, but just mark your calendars for April 1st to 6th, because of course we're celebrating World Theatre. And even just listening to them, you can see a lot of work that's been done. I remember back in school days, you'd say, oh, they're just playing around, but it's not just playing. There's a whole lot of work embodying a character, getting on stage and making sure that you deliver the lines, you deliver the character, the emotions. You mentioned the emotions for that character that you're going deeper into. Even Inspector Javert, there's a whole lot of things that are put together by actors to make sure that it's a wonderful performance. And I'm sure that is going to be a wonderful one, April 1st to 4th to 6th rather.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna play the musical. We still have Tionna, Ackerman, and Vuyo Ginindza in the house. But enjoy this one. This one says Icon. That is Are You Coming Back? And that's from Angelique Kidjo, featuring All Your Style. All right, you're still on to the Niger Show right here on CJTR 91.3 FM Access Now Community Radio, and we're still celebrating World Theatre Day. And we have two thespians in the house and theatre artists who are going to be performing in Regina Little Theatre's Les Misérables. And of course, we have Vuyo Ginindza and Tionna Ackerman playing Fontaine and Inspector Javert. Very interesting characters. I have gotten to learn so much about how they've put this character on stage and the lot of work that they're putting to get this character going. So mark your calendars for April 1st to 4th. And Vuyo, I believe?
Yes, April 1st to 4th, 7:30 p.m. A matinee at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. And we also have the festival happening April 5th, which is also at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m.
And talking about the festival, I'm so happy actually. Vuyo was talking earlier about, in Africa where theatre, you won't necessarily wake up and say, I want to study theatre. Not many people would definitely do that. But I'm seeing that rise right here in Regina, Saskatchewan, especially with Regina Little Theatre's performances coming up April 1st to 4th. And you said it's a 24-member cast.
Oh, yeah, it's a big, big cast.
That's a lot.
Yep. Probably one of the biggest casts since I've started with them.
Yeah. And do you know why Les Misérables? Why that? Like in all the productions, why?
Yeah, there's a big reason as to why we're doing it. This season is our 100th year of Regina Little Theatre being around. So the way that they set up their season is The very first one of the season was the very first production they ever did, and then they slowly went up through the decades. So this one was done in the 90s, I believe. And our director actually took part in that production back in the day as well. So I think it holds a special place in his heart for this one.
Oh, that's a nice one. Were you, when you saw Les Miserables, because you mentioned the fact that you took us through how you went for the audition, you were like, oh, okay, let me just go for this reading, and then the next thing you're like, oh, you're going to play Inspector Javert. When you found out, when you read the whole script and Inspector Javert, were you happy? Were you pleased with the role?
Yes, because I've only ever played protagonists. I've only ever played quote unquote good guys. I mentioned in the workshop that I'd done prior to. I thought, okay, well, it would be interesting to do something different and challenge myself, and this has been the best possible challenge. I'm trying my best not to watch the movie because there is a movie.
Yes, there is.
There's
it's really nice. Yeah, it's a musical, I believe.
Yeah, it is a musical, and I think one of the big ones is the one that has. There's a movie version of Les Mis that has, I think, Russell Crowe as
Anne Hathaway.
And obviously Russell Crowe's a good actor, so if I watch him, I'm gonna want to copy him, which is what I don't want to do. So I'll watch the movie after the show, but yeah, I could not have asked for a better experience, especially with the team. Like Bob sometimes will give notes. I'm just like, wow, I didn't think about that. I didn't think like sometimes I think like the best directors give you notes that are kind of like that force you to think. So it's not necessarily spoon feeding. But yeah, just learning loads. I'm loving it. If they do this again next year, I hope they call me back. But yeah, I'm loving the experience.
And what about you, for Fontaine? You're enjoying the experience? I mean, Anne Hathaway, I actually watched a bit. There was a whole lot cutting her hair, all of that. Did you? I know you don't want to say too much, but did you have to do that throughout the course of the play?
There's some things that we're doing that will give that illusion of such. So just seeing what she went through helps me, though, connect to those moments when she has her hair chopped off or her teeth pulled out or whatever may have occurred to her. Because there's a lot that happens to her in the musical that we will not be doing on stage just because it's so tragic. You just can't do that. So it's been really nice to play the character.
Aside from Fontaine, what other characters have you played so far?
My first one that I ever played her name was Sandra/Florence. It was in The Play That Goes Wrong. That one was my absolute favorite. Everything that could go wrong does go wrong. The set falls down around you. I got knocked out and thrown into a clock.
Like the set actually falls down?
Yeah, the whole set falls down around us. We had to time it so well so that way there's people standing and it doesn't hit ya, of course. It was just the most chaotic but organized chaos that I have ever been a part of. And our stage manager, Cheryl, she was a part of that one back 2 years ago as well. So
that's nice. But generally, like the growth of theater in Regina, what would you say? Is it growing? Has it been a decline? I mean, we talk about film productions. People talk about the decline of it in Regina, Saskatchewan. Do you see it growing?
I see it growing more recently. In the last little bit, there's been more of a strong push with the community, but we're the ones who are having to fight for it, to have it be pushed and be more supported, I guess. There are the few places in the city that are really, really big supporters for theater, and then there's the ones that you gotta convince to let them know that it's just as important to get people out there and get them to have an escape for a couple of hours. That's why I do this. I like being able to have people come out, escape from their life, from reality, and submerge themselves into a totally different experience for just a few hours to forget your troubles. So
don't be and play different characters every time. And what about you? What about you, Vuyo?
I will say that I recognize the efforts that are being made. There is I feel like a bit of a push to not just keep theatre alive, but to try and make it to try and increase. Let me make sure I phrase this properly.
Sustainability?
Not just sustainability, but to try and invite everyone to the party. I don't want to use the word diversity because that word is such a buzzword that's used very loosely. Sometimes. But I do see a push for the arts to create space for people who do not always have the chance to be in spaces that are theatrical. I will say that in as much as the fight to keep the integrity of theatre and to keep things alive, it's mostly being done by artists. We do need the help of the public. Like, I think recently there was, I'm going to paraphrase it, but there was some kind of decision made by people in positions of authority or government or whoever it was, where they were going to cut down the budget for the arts. We need the community support for that. It can't just be us fighting for it. Like, this theatre, like, we do it as Tionna just said. We want to make y'all feel less alone. We want y'all to escape. We also want y'all to laugh when it's time to laugh. But we need the community support to make this thing, to keep this thing moving. It can't just be us. So
before I let you go, I'm gonna let two of you do a very nice line from your play. Who do I start with, Tionna or Inspector Jave? Let us have a feel of what to expect April 1st to April 4th. So, who's going to start, Tionna or Inspector Jave? Let's have a feel of Inspector Jave.
Okay, I'm thinking of this one.
I know, I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And we said we had our lines memorized.
Yeah, we know them. We're just thinking of which ones to use.
Which one? Just anyone. Anyone that you can start from the first, maybe first scene, first act. I think it's always the one of every actor has in their head. Because once you start great, you can end great.
When do you and I interact? We could do a dialogue.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's hear the dialogue then. It's World Theatre Day.
When you arrested me, or when we're in your office?
Okay.
When you're in my office. Okay.
All right.
Tell us to stop because we're gonna keep going.
Oh no, you're not gonna keep going because I have limited time here.
Okay.
Just a very short one. Let's just have a feel.
Okay. Please, Inspector Javert, let me off just this once. I'll never again be any trouble.
Be quiet. Oh wait, which line were you doing?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. No, I jumped the line. Sit down. I think that's my line, right? Yeah.
6 months. 6 months in prison, earning 7 sous a day. A fine of 4 sous if I drop a stitch. What about my daughter? What right had that man to torment me? Let me off just this once. I'll never again be any trouble.
Sit down.
I can already feel Tionna feeling. He says sit down. It's like, what?
Oh my God.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
You are a very forceful man, Inspector Jave. But it's an interesting character, and I really enjoy Tionna and of course Vuyo Ginindza for acting both Fontaine and Inspector Jave, and I'm actually looking forward to that. So mark your calendars: April 1st to 4th, Regina Little Theatre's Les Misérables, and this is you supporting World Theatre Day. I'm actually a therapist myself, so
Yes.
yes, I am. Those of us who
let him know.
Let him know. Yes,
Let them know.
I am also a thespian myself, so we are spreading the love throughout for World Theatre Day. Yesterday, I saw most of my colleagues celebrate World Theatre Day. I was like, oh, that's nice. Well, some of us branched off to media and journalism, but at the same time, we still have big love for World Theatre Day. But it's been a very, very interesting experience. Now, because say you day on top of the Niger show, you know, we've been talking about theatre since. Do you know anything about Nigeria, Africa? Anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Genuinely, I don't. It's not taught. It's not shared with us. It's just
this is why you have to tune into the Niger show every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. And of course, there are a lot of things that you get to learn on the program, and that's what we're doing here. I would have said I should speak a little pidgin for you, but I don't want to put you on the spot.
Teach us something.
Yeah, please do.
Something small, though.
Something small.
Something small.
You already know something.
Yeah.
Waiting day. Basically, everybody says that. Waiting day.
Yeah.
Waiting day.
Waiting day.
Hey,
I like nice. Well, I like when they say it and it's very, very soft. Like
quick. She was quick with it.
Waiting day.
Waiting day.
Okay. I love that. I love that about that. I love it. And I wonder if probably there might be a character, because we have lots of playwrights, thanks to Ibuku Fasuma, who is also trying to make plays for Black people right here in Regina. And I wonder if we have a switch, how that's gonna be. Vuyo, what do you think?
Switch as
like a switch, like a white person, like the way you're playing a white inspector, like
you mean a white playwright writing for Black people?
Yes. I wonder.
You know I think anything is possible as long as you are culturally competent. So I think Denzel Washington once made this example when I think he was promoting a film called Fences, he was talking about how like Martin Scorsese once directed a film that was specific to like Italian culture, and then he made a comment about Spike Lee directing something about African American culture. I think there are some things that are culturally specific. So you and I know what it smells like when your hair is being straightened, or like the sensation of your hair being relaxed, or you know, or with like Saturday morning, what usually happens? The house gets cleaned, so you'll hear your mom playing gospel. Those are culturally specific things. If someone is culturally competent and they've educated themselves on the culture that will be illustrated in the film, I think anyone can write anything or direct anything. But then if you're going to direct something that represents a culture you are not a part of, you cannot cut corners and say, oh, these are just characters, these things are universal. I'm like, well, no. If Tionna and I get stopped by the police officers, we're going to have very different experiences. So anyone can write anything just as long as you're culturally competent.
And then for those who are new into theatre, as we celebrate World Theatre Day, which was yesterday, what's something that you would want them to know about the theatre industry?
We can't survive without our audiences. We're there because we love it, but we also want you to love it. We want the audience to want to come and support us and ask what our next show is going to be and when we're going to be able to do that for them. Without the audience support, we can't do anything. So we need the public to come and support and enjoy and be able to mingle, and maybe from that they'll find a love for theater that they didn't know that they had. So
what about you, Vuyo?
You know, it's for the space is for everyone. I think theatre is one of the only spaces where literally anyone can come to play. You could be an experienced actor, you could be an inexperienced actor, you could be of any culture, of any sexuality. I feel it I might be wrong, but I feel it's actually frowned upon to be someone in an artistic space and you are coming with a malicious energy trying to judge others or other cases. I feel like theatre or the art space is the only space where it is really we welcome everyone. So yeah, that's what I'd say. It's everyone can come, everyone should come. And it's beautiful, as Tionna said, it's beautiful when you see people who discover a passion or a talent that they have simply because someone allowed them to audition. So yeah.
And that is how we're celebrating World Theatre Day right here on the Niger Show on CJTR 91.3 FM. It's been a pleasure having Tionna and Vuyo Ginindza tell us so much about their characters. I have learned so much and I am hoping for the best. So I'm happy that two of you actually get a part to play. So
yeah,
it's actually fun. I really like that. I miss the rehearsals. I miss learning lines. I miss the theatre space generally. It's really fun being with lots of people and you developing your characters. That's what I love most about theatre. I love rehearsals a whole lot. It's always fun. You guys didn't have any midnight no anything, did you? No night rehearsals.
They run a bit late, but again, you know what you sign up for when you job. It's a sacrifice, but it's something we have to do. So if we do run overtime, which we have been because it's getting closer, I feel like no one is like itching to like, okay, I need to leave. Like we want this thing to be good, so yeah, we have to stay a few extra minutes to
Okay,
let's see what that means.
Okay, that's a private joke. Okay, so in case you want to know what that means, April 1st and 4th, thank you so much, Vuyo and Tionna, for joining us on the show. I really learned a lot, and I really love all of that going on. So look out, April 1st to 4th, and the Regina's Little Theatre's Les Misérables. This is how we'll call it a close for today's show. Join us again next week, every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. For now, I say thank you so much for listening, and this is how we'll call it a close for today. Enjoy this one from Diamond Platinums and Nicole's one. Happy because we're happy. We're happy because it's World Theatre Day. We're happy because it's the weekend. We're happy because spring has finally sprung. So have a beautiful. Yes. Hopefully, yes. That's why there's a question mark. They said it's still going to be a bad weather. It's going to be wintry weather, but officially, I think we're already looking springy. I can see purple, pink, orange. So
spring must come and locate me because I'm not seeing it. Anyways, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty.